Hi, I'm Sarah Marie. I'm a motivational blogger in Brisbane, Australia. I'm here in the hopes that while interviewing people that are currently living their dreams or on their way to living their dreams, that it might inspire all of us to do the same and to really reach for what our dreams are. I'm really excited today because I'm joined by Damien Bredberg. Damien is a commercial and advertising photographer here in Brisbane. Welcome, Damien.
Thank you for having me, Sarah.
No worries. Really great to have you here. For me personally, Damien has always inspired me to keep taking photos. I often see a new photo of his pop up on Facebook and I'm just blown away. So I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
I've paid you too well, obviously. Such a liar. Come on.
Not at all. Okay, so I'll just jump right into the questions. Cool. What were you like at school, Damien?
In short, I was an absolute brat. I was always the kid that would get in trouble or create the noise or be the distraction to the class. So I was always at the back, and then probably nearly in every class I was either sent to the front or sent to the corner of the room. And that was me. So, look, I'd probably suffer from ADD, and yes, I don't think we need to do any medical diagnosis to understand that, but
right.
It's pretty much a guarantee. So I've had that ever since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was the biggest distraction. For me, school was more about fun than learning.
Yeah.
So I didn't learn much. For me, my priorities were about friends and fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I can relate to that, for sure. What was something that you used to dream of as a child?
It was never photography, which is surprising. A lot of people ask this question, did you get in photography early? Was it always a dream of yours? And it never has been. Mm-hmm. It was actually a girlfriend at a time that sort of said, well, you're good at this, why don't you do it professionally and take the means and take the right steps to continue it as a career. And I did at the time, so I went and studied it. But as a child, I had no desires, no ambitions to do photography ever. So I don't know where it came from, apart from the girlfriend at the time. But I think for me, it was more, as a child, I wanted to be in the commercial world, or in the corporate world rather, and something related to planes.
Planes, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why or how, but I was very fortunate where I had a lot of relatives that would fly in from interstate and internationally. Mm-hmm. So lots of visits to the airport for me was very exciting.
So it was exciting, yeah.
Yeah, it was. And so it must have been then that I always knew that I wanted to be involved with planes somehow. Okay. And that dream just got shattered. So I took the easy, cheaper approach. But yeah, I don't know what the definitive point was. I don't know what the catalyst was, but
yeah, maybe exploring or something. Yeah,
and maybe I found my inner happiness through a camera, and I loved it and enjoyed it.
Well, which brings us to the next question. What do you do now?
Oh, easy. Well, I hope to think I'm doing photography relatively well. In short, commercial and advertising photography. Yep. And what that means is I will do anything photographically outside of weddings and portraits.
Mm-hmm. Not really interested in the weddings and portraits?
No, I did start in weddings and portraits.
Okay.
That's actually how I progressed from college to my career, is through weddings and portraits, assisting a bunch of wedding photographers. Okay. And I soon realised that I wasn't cut out for it. I enjoyed it. I did very well at it. But for me, you
weren't passionate about it.
Yeah, that's probably the right word. I just lost the passion. I never had the passion for weddings or portraits. For me, I was always inspired by architecture or design or advertising billboards.
Awesome.
So for me, I really followed my dream and went straight into advertising
and
as soon as I could.
That's where you kind of were led to your dream instead of always having that inspiration as a young person.
Yeah, and the good thing is I had to work less at it then too, because that was my passion. So because I loved advertising more than weddings, it was easier to excel and easier to do. Where weddings and portraits was always such a hard feat. I never found my own style. I never found my own way, my own path. I was always copying someone else.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so for me, copying someone is harder than doing what's easy.
Yeah, definitely. And how important is it to you to be happy in your life and path?
It's a very good question. I don't really know how to answer that. Obviously, happiness is everything.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not. I think we have a lot of obligations, responsibilities that are financially controlled, I believe, and they're often homes and lifestyles and investments, and the future is certainly something that we need to set up for ourselves. But at times, happiness is a compromise to financial freedom, and for me, I think I taught with, I don't know yet whether I should focus more on happiness as opposed to lifestyle and financial freedom.
Okay.
I'm probably somewhere in my life at the moment where I understand that I need more happiness than I do money.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting that you've come at this point in my life, because it's starting, I think you're more the catalyst for me to go, actually, you know what, I think happiness is quite important, and it's more important. So for me, I understand that happiness is the most important, but yet I'm struggling with myself to find that and to go after it.
Yeah.
But I do find happiness in my job. So for me to come to work all day, every day, that does make me happy.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's
I
really
probably
good.
didn't answer the question very well. I was a bit all over the place. But in short, yeah, I'm at a struggle with myself. Finance, which is always trying to find it and work and strive and overcome lots of challenges that I don't like to do for financial freedom. But then happiness is so easy to acquire and to do.
Yeah.
But I can't have happiness without money sometimes as well.
Yeah, and I guess like having that awareness though, now that you're kind of going through all this, you can take steps to
And
change
that's exactly
it.
what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm actually now having more of a work-life balance as well. I'm doing a lot more sporting activities during the week, during business hours, than I ever would.
Yeah.
And I'm actually, what I'm finding through that process, I'm actually doing the same amount of work and being, if not more productive, than I would in a 5-day working week, as opposed to now a 4-day working week or a 3-day working week.
Yeah, wow.
So it's actually working out for the better.
And I think like we always find that when you take a break from your daily routine and you come back to your work, like you can always tell that you're more, I guess, like inspired to keep going with it.
Definitely, and definitely refreshed and reinvigorated. Yeah, absolutely. And you don't always have to find inspiration from your industry. For me, I can find inspiration from the ocean or the waves or surfing or motorbike riding.
Yeah.
And so for me, I need more of that time to myself.
Yeah, cool. Next question. What are some things that happened in your life that inspired you to follow your heart?
Ooh. I don't know. Again, it's probably a bit similar to how I got into photography. I don't think there was any real catalyst that went, you've got to go do that.
Yeah.
But something that inspires me to continue pushing the boundaries and doing bigger and better with my work is other photographers that I idolise. And they're more international photographers, the likes of Erwin Olaf, Tom Nagy, Jim Fiskus, Eugenio Rocchionco. They're brilliant photographers, and I look at them as inspiration, as a benchmark for me to improve myself.
Yeah.
So I'm probably forever finding inspiration and forever seeking mentors and idols to help me along the way. But I wouldn't say I ever have a definitive point where I go, I've got to change everything what I'm doing.
Yeah, sure.
But I guess having a happy family and having great supportive friends around me is also inspiration every day, because they acknowledge what I do, they support what I do, and at times they feel my ego and they say, wow, you're doing such great stuff, continue with this, why would you ever give it up, you're brilliant at it. And we all love a bit of ego, we all love to hear those things. So for me, that's everyday inspiration as well.
Yeah, great. Yeah, fantastic. Which brings us to the last question. Career and life goals aside, what is something that you really are passionate about that you would love to do but don't always do?
Would love to be a sports star, but I'm just not coordinated. So that's gone. That's out the window. I will always do photography. I love it. I'm at a point in my life where I'm starting to see the opportunities or potential of my work getting a lot better. So I'm trying to harness that and start to utilise that to the best of my skills. And I think that's because of the inspiration and the idols that I've now found around me, both locally and internationally, that are pushing me along that path. So now I'm probably in a state where I'm quite inspired, again, reinvigorated to go bigger and better. And I think for me, my goals would be to end up overseas, particularly in America,
Yep.
I think. I think for me, that's going to be another stepping stone in my life where my career is going to jump a whole nother level.
Absolutely.
By the opportunities and people around me there.
And there's such an amazing creative industry over there. Like
Massive.
the inspiration that I can only imagine, not being there yet, but over there, like you would just be constantly seeing amazing work, you know,
Yes.
on such a larger scale from amazing talent over there.
And they tend to appreciate it more than we do here as well. So, and what I also do love is they segment their specialists or their work or their procedures a lot. So for us here in Australia, as a photography business, we tend to do the pre-production, the recce's, the photography and the post-production. Over there, if you're a photographer, you just do purely photography.
Wow.
They'll often outsource the post-production and they'll give it to a specialist and they'll do it well.
Well, that's great for being able to focus on just exactly what you need to be focused on and give your complete attention to that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And they even specialise right down to a particular style. So if you do liquids, that's all you do. You just do liquids. If you do product, you only do product.
Well, I can see how then that would really push you to be better in that particular field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, wow. Oh, fantastic. Well, that's all I have today.
Cool, thank you.
So thank you again for joining us,
Yeah,
Damien.
no
It's
dramas.
been fantastic to catch up with
likewise.
you. And I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Cool.
So
All
thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See you
ya.
next time.